One thing I can't stomach anymore is when guys pretend a defeat is a victory. I don't mind them turning a defeat into victory, but not pretending. No, this is a very important short on YouTube showing the actual gender dynamics between men and women, and that is the woman being completely hostile towards the man. And it's important young guys know this. But then we'll look at the comment section. You'll see guys coping. But let's get into this.
Cole, I spoke to a lawyer. I want half of everything.
Half? You mean half of the debt? Because that's mostly what we own.
Now, guys will think this is a victory. She built up that debt. He's the one who's going to end up paying it off. So this is not of a brag from him, right?
Don't play dumb. The house, the cars, the investments, I know what you make.
The house has 10% equity. The rest is owned by the bank. You want half the mortgage payments too?
It doesn't matter. It's a no-fault state. The judge will give me alimony.
We've been married 3 years. Alimony is for long-term dependents, not a lottery ticket for a short ride.
Yeah, but you don't. The judge will probably give it to her. All you guys listening, the guys will. This is not a win. Whoever wrote this script doesn't know what he's talking about. Judges throw prenups out. Judges throw prenups out. You know, a contract that the woman signed. In practice, the man has no rights. So this woman probably would get alimony. And why is she arguing? Why isn't she just leaving? Because the gender dynamics are one of sadism against the man. You have to understand this. This woman isn't just getting tired and leaving this guy. She wants him to suffer.
I supported your dreams. I sacrificed my best years.
Sacrifice? You lived rent-free, drove a leased Rover, and didn't work. That's not sacrifice. That's a vacation.
Well, dude, that's your fault. Like, guys get together with women knowing that this is what it costs them. Right. And when she says best years, what she's really saying is, I could have found a higher status man, a man who made more money. Now I have to compete with younger women. That's all she means by best years.
My lawyer is going to destroy you. He costs $500 an hour.
And who do you think is paying for him? My credit card.
Now, why is he smiling? So she's putting him further into debt. That's not her debt. That's his debt. So this guy is paying for her lawyer to go after him. And guys, there are men who the judge will say get a second job to pay her alimony. I want you to understand that. The relationship between the man and the woman is one of sadism towards the man. And the legal system is on board with that.
You're burning the pile you're trying to steal.
Take half the furniture, take the leased car, just...
Yeah, she's burning the pile, but she didn't build it, dude. She didn't build it, you did. This is a lose-lose situation.
sign the papers. I'm buying my freedom.
You're just going to let me walk away? You don't even fight for us?
So what she's saying is, I want you to suffer. This isn't the reaction I want. I want you to sob and say, please come back. And she's going to leave anyway. Like, I know this is cartoon characters, but this is how it works in real life, between real life people. She wants this man destroyed. He actually is. That's why he looks like a walking zombie. But she wants reaction, right? She wants him sobbing.
I don't fight for hostages. I negotiate their release. The money I can make back, the time I spent on this drama, that's gone forever. Freedom is expensive, but regret costs even more.
Regret costs even more, right? But dude, you went through that drama. That whole time that girl was in his life, he had to deal with drama. Like, guys know what the deal is to start with. These shorts, they pretend that guys went in blind and didn't know what they were doing. And here's another thing. When I was just a young guy, I heard of the word common law, or the phrase, I should say. I said, what's common law? They said, if you simply have a woman living with you, the government will consider you married. Now, the marriage contract, you could say, hey, you got officially married. You signed a contract. But that doesn't matter because the government can say, just because this woman is in your vicinity, you're married. We're enforcing a contract you never signed. And I knew it was wrong as soon as I heard it, but I was kind of stumped because, none of the guys who told me this were upset. Common law marriage is something that men en masse should have got together and struck down. Said, no, I didn't sign any agreement. I owe nothing. Now, we'll look at the comments. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Well, dude, he had to negotiate with her to get her into his life. Remember, she lived the vacation. She drove around in a Range Rover that he paid for. So guys do negotiate with terrorists. Homeboy is way too calm because he already did the math. Well, why didn't he do the math before he got into a relationship with this woman? When he had to bribe her with a free car and a house, he was doing the math already. So who is he to complain? Freedom is expensive. Regret is more expensive. Epic. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Trying to turn defeat into victory. This guy already has regret. Why does he have regret written all over his face? Now, again, never enter a contract that rewards the other party for breaking it. Dude, again, common law marriage is a thing. Bertonus, common law marriage is a thing. In other words, you don't have to enter a contract as a man to have the government support a woman ruling over you. Again, burning the pile you're trying to steal. Wow, LL, but you already stole. This woman had great years with this guy. She had a free ride. So she gained. She started off with nothing, lived for 3 years on easy mode, and now she's at square one. She really hasn't lost. This guy lost everything. This woman already stole from this man. She stole his time. She stole his self-respect. She stole his working hours because he had to put extra working hours to support her lifestyle. And she stole his enjoyment, his happiness. So I'm not going to let you guys try to make this defeat into something that is victory. It isn't a victory. Look at this. Marshall. My ex tried that after I gave her everything. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, that was the bride price. If you're really shocked, why didn't you just come to this woman and say, hey, why don't you just hang out with me and you can pay half the rent? She said no, then there you go. You were willing to bribe a woman to your life. She's not capable of loving you, of course. Right? Marriage is an awful contract you shouldn't sign, Dave Chappelle. Again, common law. They don't want a partnership, they want a sponsorship. Well, duh, Wayne-O. This guy had a housewife leech. He knew she didn't want a partnership to start with. Now, this is the only one that had anything worthwhile to say. Single life equals happy life. Thank you, Mats. Now, again, this is very important to show because young guys who have yet to get into these relationships might be able to dodge a bullet. But again, guys, this character here is one that represents the average guy, the average defeated man. And he defeated himself. These guys went into these contracts knowing exactly what they were. So don't try to spin this into a victory.